everybody, and welcome to the one and only Positivity series that we have started in lockdown. We are so excited to have Nadia here with us today, who has been nominated by Lucy Horsell. Hi, Nadia.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. Thank you so much for coming on. And we were just talking before we started recording that Lucy told you that you were going to be nominated before she'd even been interviewed.
Yes, she gave me a massive heads up. Thanks to Lucy.
That's great. And how do you know Lucy?
So we've known each other for years. We went to the same prep school up north, but then she left the year I started. But we kind of then met through mutual friends. So that was probably when we were about 21. So poor thing, she's had me in her life for the last 8 years, nagging her.
Oh no, great. Everyone loves Lucy, so that's great to hear. So obviously this is Positivity, and the premise is that we tell everybody to take a break from their screens, whatever they're doing, and grab a cuppa, which hopefully you have. So what's your cuppa of choice?
I actually think Lucy bought me this for my birthday last year. So I'm obsessed with giraffes, anyone that knows me. So yeah, it's got a little giraffe on. I think Lucy actually bought me this. So I don't actually drink tea, normal tea. I've never had a cup of tea in my life. But I do occasionally have a mint tea if I'm in situations like this when I have to drink a hot beverage. So I've got mint tea today.
Amazing. Interesting that you don't normally drink tea. I don't know how people can do it.
Never had a cup of tea or coffee in my life.
No. Oh gosh. Maybe we should have changed this to a G&T. Would that be better?
So that's my go-to drink. So I should have brought that with me.
Well, we can go off air now and have a quick change. Positivity G&T works well.
I think it would be a very different conversation if I had a few gin and tonics in me.
Yeah. Maybe not one for 10:15 in the morning, but maybe a bit later.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, amazing. So could you tell us a bit about what you do for work and how that's been impacted with COVID and the wonderful world of lockdown that we're in?
Oh, yeah. So I own my own dance studio, the Loft Studios. I've been at work today on here, hence why I've got my uniform on. So I own a dance studio. I opened it just over 3 years ago. Before that, I was a professional dancer, and then came back up north, and decided to open it up myself. So yeah, I did that, and then lockdown happened. Really, we were thriving. It was just getting to a point when my kids were doing so well. They've trained so hard. We were competing. We were just about to run our own comp. We should be now working on our third show, but can't because obviously because everything that's happened. But it was kind of like the Wednesday before the official lockdown, and I just thought, like, what do I do? Schools were they were talking about shutting, and I was just like, do you know what? I'm just going to shut because it's safe for everybody. So closed everything up, and then had kind of a week of feeling really sorry for myself, crying, and I was like, my studio is my baby. Anyone that knows me knows it's my entire life. So yeah, and I was like, oh, I've lost my baby, like I'm going to lose my business, what's going to happen? And then week 2 kind of came about, and I was like, come on, Nads, pull yourself together. I always have to find a positive out of a negative. And I live with my parents, so I decided to change their garage into a garage studio. So my studio is the Loft Studio. So this is now the garage studio. My mum made a sign and everything, so it's official. So changed it into a studio, kind of packed up loads of stuff at my place and brought all my equipment home, and set everything up on Zoom. So now, for the last 11 weeks or so, I've been doing like 40 online classes a week for my kids, and I've got adults as well. I do the adult fitness classes as well, all from here.
Amazing. And I guess as well, I do a lot of work with sort of breaking down barriers for getting females active. So actually, the positives of this are that, they're in their own homes, and if they are doing fitness, they don't have that that self-conscious aspect.
Yeah, I have that a lot. A lot of adults come to the studio and they're like, it's taken me 3 months to come here, and I've tried to persuade my friends to come with me. I didn't want to come on my own. Then they come in, they meet me, they meet my instructors, they see what a nice, positive place the studio is, and then they're comfortable. But it's that breaking down the barrier, like you say, and actually going online. I've had a lot of adults, a lot of women that have joined, and they feel comfortable because if they want to, they can turn their camera off and they can just listen and see me and copy me, or actually they've kept it on, but they know that everyone's looking kind of at me what to do. They're not looking at each other. And actually it's set up in the future, maybe I can stream classes from the studio. So adults that don't want to come into the studio because they feel too self-conscious can log on and do it from home. So there has been positive. Same with my children. There's so much, a lot of my children, well, any children, a lot of them suffer with, they're very self-conscious because of social media these days. So a lot of them, it takes me so long to build their confidence in the studio and to get them feeling strong and confident and just go for it and not care what anyone thinks. But actually a lot of them have strived on here. They've just gone above and beyond. So.
Wow, I love that. And it's almost like when it does return to this new normal that we're talking about, like it's almost like that this is a stopgap for them, so they can gradually then, when they're feeling comfortable and feeling active, ready to go, they can come and join you. That's brilliant, and something that you probably wouldn't have looked at without lockdown, I imagine.
No, definitely not at all. Like just doing anything online, I would never have thought about it. But I teach in a couple of schools as well, and I just think, I could actually broaden this, and maybe I can do stream Zoom classes to schools all over the country if I wanted to. There's so much you can do with it, and I think what a lot of people do is get stuck in their ways, and you think, oh well, this is how it's supposed to go, this is how my dance school was when I was a kid, so I'm going to do the same. Actually move with the times, and a lot of things online, and dancers have taken to the internet like crazy. The amount of like Instagram live stories that are on there, and you've got famous choreographers doing things on there, kids are logging on and doing that. It's incredible. It's good for me as the teacher because I can say, so like people I've worked with in the industry, I'll say to my students, I worked with them on this show, they're incredible, go on and do their class online, like you're going to learn so much for them. And and I think it has opened my eyes, especially that there's so much more out there.
Yeah, it's brilliant, and excited to sort of see more about it. And now I can search for you online. But what kind of dancing do you teach, and what were you when you were a professional? Did you specialize in an area, or I'd love to hear more for someone that has absolutely zero rhythm?
I know, I feel like when I talk about it, people are like, it's like you're speaking another language. No one has any idea. And then it's really funny, like Lucy, for example, will chat to me and she's like, oh, so when you did that kind of dancing, and I'm like, well, what's that? Lucy's dance moves. She's a lost girl. Sorry, Luce. She's I did try. No, so I'm only joking. Love you, Luce. So I teach everything really. I do tap, modern and ballet, which are the main ones, commercial, street dance, contemporary. We do acro, we do musical theatre. The list is endless. Adults, I do like a booty class, and I do fitness classes with them. We do adult tap, beginner and advanced, adult commercial, adult lyrical, lots.
It's endless. And do you have a preference? Do you have a favourite, or do you love it all?
I like it all. Probably my favourite style would be kind of commercial, street dance and tap. So when I was kind of at the main point of my career, I did a lot of tap work on television, and I've tapped with Adam Garcia. He was kind of like the main one. He's an incredible tap dancer. He's one of the ones I said to my students, go on, watch his live Instagrams, like he's brilliant. So yeah, tap dancing was my main thing in the industry. So it's probably what I'm known for most. When people come to the studio, they'll be like, oh, I saw you on YouTube doing this with, yes, as a man. And I'm like, so that's probably my main one. But I love dancing it. Tap's a really hard one to teach. But I do love it when somebody nails a tap step. It's like the best feeling in the world.
Yeah, I that you have so much admiration for what you've done, and you helped achieve it.
Yeah, and you just sit there, you know, so many of my students are like, oh my gosh, I can't get it. Why is it so hard? And I'm like, you have to turn your brain off and just let your feet do the talking. As cheesy as that sounds, that's what you've got to do. And they get it eventually, and it's a great achievement to have. That's probably the best one. But
what's been the most popular for online during lockdown?
Probably my commercial lessons, so like street dancing. So for the little ones, it's like, you know, like a little disco party for them. They're doing like cha-cha slide and all of that kind of stuff. They love it. And then we'll do like a little cheesy routine. And then my juniors, inters and seniors, we kind of get a bit more kind of technical with it. The seniors love it. They love being sassy. My seniors are like the sassiest queens you'll ever meet in your life. Loving it. And I'm like, you lot are dancing in your house, like no one's looking, just go for goals. And then I look on the screen and they're all like giving me this. And I'm like, yeah. I love it. So
I'm getting so many ideas. I'm meant to be on a hen do next weekend, and we're trying to think of virtual ideas. I'm definitely thinking we need to do a dance routine.
I'll do it for you. I'll do a dance class for you.
That's amazing. I'm thinking either Beyonce or Spice Girls at the moment.
Oh, absolutely. Well, let's just do both. Why not?
Yeah, I love it. That's good. So it must be, as a dance teacher, you have to have so much energy, so much positivity all the time. But obviously, lockdown has enhanced that everyone's feelings are up and down a lot, and that's okay and that's understandable. But how do you make sure and ensure that you are at the best of your ability with the energy that you need for each class?
I'll be honest, it's been really hard. Like anyone that knows me knows I'm always smiling, I'm always on. Like as a dancer, even if you've just done it as a kid, it's built into you to always just be smiling and always be on. So I really struggled. That those first 2 weeks, I was but then I kind of went into survival mode. And it just getting on and seeing the kids, like my students, they're my world, and they make me happy. They make me smile when they come on and they're like, hi, Miss Nads. And they're like, oh, and we've done this, and oh, and Mummy's done this with me. And it's actually listening to a lot of my children really bonding with their parents at home has been great. Some of the parents have joined in with the dance lessons with the kids in the background. So for me, seeing that they're getting active at home has been incredible. So I've sometimes woken up in the morning and gone, oh gosh, I do about 12 lessons a day. And I'm like, oh gosh, can I get through this? Can I do it? And then as soon as I log on and see the kids' faces, I'm like, right, okay, I'm fine. Get through the day. And once you get rolling, you're fine. And then I've made sure, because normally I do 6 days a week of teaching, and then I only have a Sunday off. So I'm normally like cross-eyed by Saturday afternoon. So I've made sure through this, it's made me realise I need to stop and recharge. It's a very physical job. So I've made sure I have a weekend off where I relax. I spend time with my parents, even though I'm living at theirs. I don't really see them much. So I've made sure I've had a lot of like family time as well, which I was missing out on before this. So yeah, finding the positive and the negative for me is just realising I need to slow down, make a bit of time.
Yes. I think that's what so many people have found, that you just need to slow down and really think about what's important. And I mean, you talk to a professional athlete and they factor in rest to their weekly program to ensure that they're getting those 1% gains all the time. So actually, if you think about that, you've got to do it when you're teaching and so on. So it's amazing to see the energy that you have for it. So I'm definitely joining a class soon.
Oh my gosh, please do. It's so much fun, honestly.
Okay, so that's your life with dance, and how are you keeping positive outside of that with your family life, which you've touched on already, and your friends as well?
So family life, luckily I'm living at my parents', and they're brilliant. I'm glad I'm with them because I've got 3 older siblings, 2 in Newcastle and one's in London. My brothers went back to work and caught COVID, and then it's not to laugh about, but bless him, then was off with it. Luckily, he had a mild version, but his wife and we think my new nephew caught it as well. So they had a bit of it, but they're doing really well though. They've recovered. They've had antibody tests, and it all seems okay. So that's a positive. But it's been hard. I've not been able to really see my new nephew. Once when he was 2 or 3 days old. My sisters are in Newcastle. They've got 2 each. Not seen them apart from on FaceTime, which has been really tough. But I'm glad that I've been able to be with mum and dad, because they're both classed as high risk. So I've done their shopping to kind of, and obviously then being the link to my siblings for them as well. But struggle because I've done the shopping and things I've had to keep away from them. So living with them, I've then still had to sit at the other end of the table or go to bed early, kind of keep out of their way. So that's been tough. But I started doing yoga. So I do it twice a week, and it actually really clears my mind and gets me like in a mental state, ready to fight the week. So that's been good. But yeah, struggled not seeing my siblings and my nephews and niece, because we're such a close family. And my mum and dad have struggled not seeing the kids as well. That, you know, now they're older, that's all they want to do. They just want to spend time with them, and especially just not being able to coddle him or, you know, feed him or help with night shift or anything. It's really sad. But hopefully soon.
Yeah, I think that is the hardest thing, and thank goodness for technology, but we are very tactile as humans, aren't we? And I think that's going to be the hardest thing when we return.
Yeah, well, definitely. I think we all caught on to the family quizzes quite well.
Yeah.
Sorry, dipping in and out. We all logged on to the quizzes, so we got onto that quite quickly, which has been good fun.
Yes, yeah, they've been a godsend. Although I come last in every quiz I do, but we'll get through. But it's interestingly that you said about.
I did one with the students last week, and I came. A 5-year-old beat me. What's going on?
Oh no! I won't tell anyone. Don't worry, we're not broadcasting this or anything.
Sorry, no, I'm really smart.
It's interesting you've said about yoga. So many people that weren't aware or didn't really give yoga the time of day before have found that they're becoming more present, they're getting the little wins in life, and actually, again, I think that's something that will be taken forward.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, no, I'm a big fan of that, so that's great. So there's obviously been a lot during lockdown, lots of binge watching on Netflix, particularly from my part, and podcasts that are out there, books. Is there anything that you would recommend for the listeners about anything that you've read or listened to or watched?
Probably really embarrassing, but I finally got onto the Vampire Diaries bandwagon. I don't know why. It was just, you know, you just want something. It's taking me a while. Like, I've still got about 2 more seasons left. It's taken me about 4 months. But yeah, fall in love with that. Normal People, I absolutely love. I'm watching it for a second time.
Oh, I've actually read the book. I'm reading the book now after the series. I think I've done it the wrong way around.
I really love it. And, yeah, so my sister did the same. She said she watched it, then read the book, but actually she thought that the TV series was better. So
yeah, and lots of people have said that. So yeah, no, I agree. Yeah. No, it's but you're living with your parents, so you can't watch that with your parents.
So Lucy mentioned it to me and she was like, I've made the fatal mistake of watching it with my family, and then sent me this classic picture saying we're watching an episode and her brother's like on his phone kind of sneaking looking over. Her dad's like this and her stepmom's like this, and honestly I was like, that's brilliant. I could not watch that with my parents, absolutely not. So I went upstairs, watched it in my room on my own.
Yeah, so funny. Oh, yeah. Brilliant.
Not a family show at all.
No, but very, very informative in other ways. No, definitely. It's so funny, no matter how old you get, you still can't do anything. You can't watch it with your parents.
No, I know. I'm 29 and I'm like, no. I mentioned it to Mum after. I was like, if you want to watch it, but maybe even like don't watch it with Dad. I don't know. I was just like, it's really weird.
It's so funny. That's the same with my mum, because we've just moved house, so I was living there as a stopgap for a bit, and she kept saying, "So is it good then?" I was like, you're still not joining me. No, I'm watching this in a separate room.
I was like, maybe don't watch it. Maybe it's like for a younger crowd. I don't want to then have a conversation with you after. Like, I've told her how good it was and how much I liked it. I then don't want to have a conversation after with, well, why did you like it so much? And I'm like,
It's so funny. Oh, thank you so much for talking to us today. Just so much energy and positivity that everybody needs at the moment. And my final question is, who would you like to nominate to come on the next episode?
So I'm going to nominate a very good friend of mine, Andy Gray. He's called, not Mr. Gray, as he likes to always say, oh yes, I'm Mr. Gray. But yeah, Andy Gray, he is, I teach his daughters. We met in a business meeting group, and he's also been my PT in the past as well, but he is great. He is so positive all the time, like too positive sometimes. But yeah, you'll have a cracking chat with him. Just tell him beforehand he's not allowed to be rude.
Okie dokie. Well,
to whack out a little rude. Yeah.
That's brilliant. Thank you so much. I hope you've enjoyed coming on.
I did. Thank you for having me, Alex.
Thank you.